The year was 2008, a time of change and new beginnings, Chunyun. The air crackled with anticipation and the bittersweet tang of goodbyes. Families parted ways, friends embraced for the last time, and the station was a mosaic of emotions. Lin Jiangqing clutched his worn backpack, a lone island in a sea of humanity. His heart pounded with a mix of fear and excitement, the weight of his dreams heavy on his shoulders. He was adrift, heading to Beijing, a city promising a future brighter than the rice paddies of his village. The train's rhythmic clatter was a lullaby of hope and uncertainty.
Just gotta keep moving, he whispered to himself, determination etched on his face.
He jostled through the throng, his gaze falling upon her. The crowd seemed to part, if only for a moment, revealing a connection that felt almost predestined. Fang xiaoxiao, her eyes wide and filled with a familiar trepidation, met his. In that instant they shared a silent understanding of the journey ahead, a silent acknowledgement passed between them, two souls embarking on the same uncertain journey. Their hearts beat in unison if only for a fleeting second. He wouldn't learn her name that day. The moment passed, and they were swept away by the tide of people. Fate, however, had other plans. The universe has a way of bringing together those who are meant to meet. Their paths, once merely tangential, were destined to intertwine. The threads of their lives were being woven together by an unseen hand. Little did they know, this fleeting encounter would mark the beginning of a love story etched in ambition, sacrifice, and the heart-wrenching pangs of what could have been. Their lives would be forever changed. Their individual dreams, woven into the fabric of their shared aspirations, would become the very threads that bound them together. Each moment, each decision, would add to the tapestry of their shared destiny. And ultimately those same threads, pulled taut by time and circumstance, would unravel, leaving behind a poignant tapestry of love and loss. Their story, though marked by separation, would remain a testament to the enduring power of connection. Beijing was a harsh mistress, a city that never slept, always demanding more from its inhabitants. Days blurred into an exhausting dance of survival, each sunrise a testament to their unwavering ambition, a new chance to chase their dreams.
Just one more sketch, one more line to perfect.
He, a budding architect sketching skyscrapers on napkins, dreaming of a skyline that bore his signature. She, a writer, her words blooming in cramped internet cafes, each sentence a step closer to her magnum opus. Chance encounters at crowded food stalls blossomed into a hesitant friendship, a bond forged over shared meals and stories.
You call that a meal? It's barely a snack. But it was enough to bring them together.
They found solace in shared meals, moments of peace in a bustling city, laughter echoing in tiny rented rooms, their spirits lifted by each other's company. He saw her fire, the way her eyes lit up at the prospect of a story, her passion igniting his own. She admired his quiet strength, the way his hands transformed concrete dreams into tangible art, each creation a piece of his soul. Their connection deepened, a quiet understanding blooming amidst the chaos of the city, a sanctuary in each other. They were two souls against the world, their dreams woven into the very smog that cloaked their adopted home, a testament to their resilience. Each shared hardship, every triumph, solidified the invisible bond between them, a bond that grew stronger with each passing day. Their love story, though still unspoken, was being written, line by line, in the heart of Beijing, a city that had become their canvas. Their first apartment was a testament to their love and their struggles. Cramped, with peeling paint and a view of a brick wall, it was theirs.
Home sweet home.
He would come home, exhausted, to find her hunched over her laptop, a pot of jasmine tea warming the air.
How was your day?
She would listen, eyes shining as he talked about his day, his triumphs and frustrations. He designed her a desk, a testament to his love and her craft. She, in turn, filled their home with plants, their verdant life a stark contrast to the concrete jungle outside. Their love story wasn't a fairy tale, it was real, raw, and beautiful in its imperfections. It was in the shared meals, the stolen kisses between deadlines, the quiet comfort of their shared space. They were each other's anchor, a beacon of warmth and love in a city that could be unforgiving and cold. Success, when it came for Zhang Yibai, was double-edged. His architectural firm thrived, his designs gracing the covers of prestigious magazines, celebrated by peers and critics alike. But success had a price, a steep one. Late nights turned into missed dinners, the warmth of home replaced by the cold glow of computer screens, ambitious projects into forgotten promises, each missed call a reminder of what he was sacrificing.
Sorry, I can't make it tonight. Another deadline, another broken promise.
He became consumed, his passion morphing into an obsession, the fire in his eyes now a reflection of ambition, burning away the tenderness she craved, the love they once shared. Xiaoxiao's writing career, while promising, had stalled, her dreams seemingly slipping away. Her rejections piled up, mirroring the growing distance between them, each letter a blow to her spirit.
Another one rejected, another dream deferred.
She yearned for the quiet intimacy they once shared, the simple moments that now felt like distant memories, the man who used to sketch her dreams now lost in blueprints of a future that seemed to have no space for her, no room for their love. Resentment, like a weed, took root, slowly poisoning the garden of their love, choking the life out of their once vibrant relationship. They argued more, their words laced with unspoken accusations and the bitter sting of unfulfilled desires, each argument a crack in their foundation.
You don't understand the pressure I'm under, the weight of these expectations.
And you don't see how lonely I am, how much I miss us.
Their love, once a sanctuary, now felt like a battleground, a place of conflict and sorrow, the cracks in the pavement of hope growing wider with each passing day, threatening to swallow them whole. The announcement crackled through the plane, snapping Jinqing back to the present.
Chunyan.
The irony wasn't lost on him. Years had passed since he last made this journey, his heart heavy with the weight of what he'd lost and the hollowness of what he'd gained. He glanced at the passenger beside him. Familiar eyes, etched with the passage of time, stared back.
Jinqing?
A wave of emotions surged through him. Shock, disbelief, a heart-wrenching longing. The years melted away, the intervening decade dissolving into the background noise of the plane's engine. He saw her, not as the stranger she'd become, but as the woman who had shared his dreams, his bed, his life. Her presence was a physical manifestation of his regrets, a tangible reminder of the life they'd planned, the future they'd let slip through their fingers. He had achieved everything he thought he ever wanted. His name was synonymous with architectural brilliance. His minimalist apartment, featured in design magazines, was a testament to his success. Yet as he looked at Xiaoxiao, he couldn't shake the feeling that he'd achieved it all at the expense of something far more precious. Her presence was a mirror reflecting the hollowness of his achievements. He saw the sacrifices he'd made, the dreams he'd trampled in his relentless pursuit of success.
Xiaoxiao.
The silence between them was deafening, filled with the ghosts of unspoken words and the bitter tang of regret. In that moment, surrounded by the sterile perfection he'd created, he realized the true cost of his ambition. Success without her was simply an empty shell, a hollow victory that rang with the echoes of what might have been. The years had been kind to Xiaoxiao. Her beauty, once defined by youthful exuberance, had matured into a quiet strength. She too had found success, her novels topping bestseller lists. Yet as she met his gaze, she saw the same Jinqing she'd fallen in love with, the dreamer, the artist, buried beneath layers of regret and unspoken apologies.
I wasn't leaving you because I didn't love you. I left because I didn't recognize you anymore.
Her words hung in the air between them, heavy with the weight of years of unspoken truths. Her confession, raw and honest, chipped away at the carefully constructed walls he'd built around his heart. Her words unleashed a torrent of memories. His father, his weathered hands calloused from years of working the land, had cautioned him.
Jinqing, love is like the land. Nurture it, cherish it, or it will wither and die.
He hadn't understood then. He was blinded by ambition, by the allure of a future that glittered brighter than the love he held in his hands. Now, his father's words resonated with the bitter sting of truth. He'd been so focused on building his empire that he'd failed to see the cracks appearing in the foundation of their love. He'd allowed his ambition to blind him to the simple truth that his father had understood all along, that love, not success, was the true measure of a life well lived. He watched, a silent observer, as she immersed herself in his latest project, a mobile game, a love letter to the Beijing they'd shared. The pixels on the screen flickered to life, recreating their favorite haunts, the cramped noodle stall where they'd shared their first meal, the tiny bookshop where she'd found solace in worn paperbacks. the park bench where he'd first told her he loved her.
With each scene, a piece of my soul shattered, the enormity of my loss washing over me in agonizing waves.
He'd poured his regret, his love, his memories into this digital world, hoping perhaps to recapture a fragment of the happiness they'd once shared. He'd built a monument to their love, a virtual testament to the life they could have had, if only he'd had the courage to choose love over ambition. The plane touched down, the familiar roar of the engine replaced by the cacophony of the arrival gate. He watched as she stood, her silhouette framed against the setting sun. He wanted to reach out, to apologize for the mistakes he'd made, the years he couldn't get back. But some wounds, he knew, ran too deep, some scars too raw to be healed with mere words.
Goodbye, Jinqing.
She said, her voice a whisper lost in the throng of passengers. He let her go. Their story, a poignant tapestry of love and loss, had come to an end. As he watched her walk away, he knew that the memory of their love, like the bittersweet symphony of their past, would forever echo in the chambers of his heart.